it was me, Mark, and JB. We wasn't in his classroom. We was in like a lecture room, and we was trying to figure out the name for the brand. And then somehow, some way, we came up with Lost Genius Society, and we got a picture like pointing at the board and stuff like that. But it's crazy like how we, full circle moment, we back in here. Lost Genius Society. The future is now. Everything that we want to focus on and everything that we believe is centered around that motto, the future is now. Like I said in the previous video, the things and the person and the goals that we have for the future, we have to be that person right now. We have to work like we are already in that future position right now. And we ultimately just have to be that person that we want to be in the future right now in every aspect, mainly from a psychological standpoint and mainly from like a mindset perspective. For these shirts that we had on for our most recent photo shoot, they say Genius Academy. And the whole idea behind the Genius Academy is that it's not necessarily an institution, but more so just a collective of individuals who are unafraid to be themselves in every way possible. It's not about the whole idea of academics, but just the concept of learning and growing and just understanding that there is a genius within, and although you may have the potential to do genius things, you still have to work at that. You still have to learn and you still have to grow. So we're gonna take you back to class at the Genius Academy, just to kind of embrace that, you know, even though we have the capabilities to do genius things, we still have to work towards that. We still have to educate ourselves in any aspect, you know. Whatever your genius is, you still have to learn and grow and develop in those skills so you can reach your potential, so you can reach your goals, so you can be that person that you want to be in the future. You know what I mean? So Genius Academy isn't about an actual physical school, but it's more about the collective of people that are going to embrace learning and growing and developing everything that they're meant to be. Genius Academy doesn't just only go for students. Although I am in school and I am in a classroom right now, I'm speaking for those that may not be in school or may not have pursued a further education. But although you didn't, that doesn't mean you're not capable of still having genius potential. Regardless of what you do or where you're at in your life, or however the world may perceive you, you still have the ability to have a genius mindset. You still can grow and develop your genius within. And that's what Genius Academy is all about. We keep constantly pushing that and telling people that you have the potential to do genius things, and you can do whatever you want to do if you really put your mind to it, but that's not gonna just come to you. You have to go get it, you know? And that's why we're taking it back to class, you know what I mean? So let this be lesson 1. If you're gonna change your perspective, and if you're gonna take the initiative to chase your dreams, you also have to take the initiative and shift your perspective into thinking that nothing in this world is just gonna come to you. Whatever you want to be, whoever you want to be, the things you want to achieve, you have to go get it. And that's what Lost Genius Society is all about. That's what Genius Academy is all about. And yeah, we gonna wear it, you know. I prefer to wear it with a top, but regardless of the matter, regardless of the clothes, we want people to understand that you can get your dreams, you can catch your dreams if you put the work behind it as well. So there was a situation where I was explaining the brand to this individual, and they was kind of arguing that everyone isn't a genius, or being genius is only specified to a certain few. But to kind of argue that, or to kind of counter that, my whole thing is that the brand's purpose is to celebrate individuality and encourage people to recognize and pursue their own forms of genius. Even if society doesn't define everyone as a genius in a traditional sense, Lost Genius Society believes that greatness lies in embracing and amplifying whatever makes each person distinctive. So this whole idea of Lost Genius Society and the future is now, and this whole idea behind Genius Academy is that we want the world, we want people like us to understand that they have the potential to do great things, but we not only want them to see that potential, we also want them to act on it. And we're using clothing as a way that, you know, just to remind yourself, or just to remind others that you have the capacity to do and achieve greatness. Everyone has a genius within them. This is the guiding message of Lost Genius Society. This doesn't mean everyone has the same kind of genius, or that it's always recognized in conventional ways. Instead, it's about the belief that each person has unique qualities, talents, and perspectives that, when expressed, contribute something valuable to the world. Does that make sense? The brand's purpose is to celebrate individuality. I think that's I like that part right there, because everything that Lost Genius Society is about embracing the genius within you and embracing who you are, if that makes sense. And it's encouraging people to recognize and pursue their own forms of genius. So regardless of if you're in school, if you're not in school, if you want to be a veterinarian, or if you want to be a rapper, you know what I mean? Like, if you want to, regardless of what you want to do, it's like a genius potential, like, within you. You know what I mean? And even if society doesn't define it, or define everyone as a genius in the traditional sense, Lost Genius Society believes that greatness lies in embracing and amplifying whatever makes each of us different. If God wanted us all to be the same, we'll all look, dress, eat, talk like we'd be plain and basic, but like every soul on earth has their own spark, their own thing that makes them unique. You know what I mean? And it's like a genius in that. You know, I believe God is genius. So and God is within us all, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, we all should embrace that distinctive quality that makes us all different. You know what I mean? Regardless of if you want to be a rapper, or regardless of if you want to be a plumber. You know what I mean? Like, it's a genius behind it. The world might not perceive it that way, but you should embrace that. That's what makes you unique. Like school, you have to learn, grow, and develop. And I think that's like the biggest thing I learned in college. It's not necessarily that the skills as a businessman, but just like kind of like the skills of what makes me me. You know what I mean? Like, the biggest thing I learned in college was figuring out who I was and what I can do and what I can contribute to the world. You know what I mean? Not more so like on like the school learning perspective. So I think like this whole idea behind like Genius Academy is just understanding your potential and understanding that you have the potential to do genius things, but you also have to act on it. You also have to learn in your skills. You also have to develop in the things that make you unique, if that makes sense. Because you can chase your dreams for a lifetime and never catch them. But if you work on it each and every day, day in and day out, I promise you, you're gonna get there. You could be whatever you want to be. You could do whatever you want to do in this world, but you have to also have that perspective shift and that mindset change, that you also have to work for it. You also have to learn, and you also have to fail. Failure isn't necessarily a bad thing, because I feel like we learn and we grow the most through failure. You know what I mean? It's something about when you lose or when you become defeated, it hits you internally, and you like kind of hold on to that feeling. So when the situation repeats itself, you don't want to feel that feeling again. Like, you learn from it, if that makes sense. I think that's the whole idea behind, like, being a genius isn't necessarily being perfect or being like amazing in a specific area, but it's about like the whole process of what it took for you to get there. You know what I mean? That's what we're trying to embrace through Genius Academy. It's not necessarily about like just going to school, or it's not about an institution, even though we're in a physical classroom and even though we're at school, but it's more so about wherever you at in life, and regardless of what you want to do, you also have to take the necessary steps to reach your potential. You also have to learn and become knowledgeable in that area or that field or whatever the case may be, so you can have a greater chance of reaching your potential. So you can, like I said, not just chase your goals, but you can catch them. You know what I mean? And you can really be that individual that God set you out to be. So it's like a mindset shift. If you want to be an actor, if you want to be a scientist, if you want to be an athlete, be that athlete, have that work ethic like an athlete, have that work ethic as a scientist, have that work ethic as a veterinarian, whatever the case may be, have that mindset right now. So you can, it's like you're putting yourself in that position right now, and you're like manifesting it into fruition, if that makes sense. That's kind of go along with the phrase, the future is now. That person in the future, be that person right now. And look how fast you can, or watch you catch your dreams, watch you become that person you want to be. You know what I mean? So that's what Large Genius Society is all about. This is what Genius Academy is all about. And yeah, this was just kind of lesson 1. I hope y'all was taking notes. But that's really all I got. Yeah, we're gonna start here at LSU. We're gonna branch off to other colleges, and then we're gonna conquer the whole world. But take note of these small moments, because it's gonna have a major impact. We just gotta stay consistent. Maybe that should be lesson 2, consistency. And we're gonna continue to build that society day in and day out. You know, this is just lesson 1 on this matter. So yeah, I'm LGS AP. This is Large Genius Society. The future is now. Gang. Right over here, or let me write in the middle. 2024. Is we're still trying to like develop like a concrete and like an absolute kind of idea of what we're trying to do. It's like we're still trying to figure it all out, because I feel like this is a concept that's like original, like it's new, it's something that's never been created before. So we're trying to like really establish like those strong roots and really trying to create like a strong foundation. So whenever people or whenever society kind of, not necessarily come at us, but just kind of argues or counter our idea, the strong foundation and the strong roots of what Large Genius Society is and what we're trying to do can just be so like absolute that there is no like counter, or there is no like alternative, I guess, if that makes sense. So we're still trying to figure it out. But the cool thing that I think there is about Lost Genius Society is that we're doing it, like we're in the middle of it. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's never really gonna be complete until, I guess, we're complete, if that makes sense. Which is kind of like paradoxical, because much like self-growth, you're not gonna, there is no end, you know what I mean? There is no finale. It's constant until it's all said and done. So, but I think Lost Genius Society is gonna live way longer, way past when I die, you know what I mean? Hopefully we can make it last way longer, but it's kind of, you see like the resemblance, like there's not a final end to like self-growth or like developing your genius mindset. Like you can always go further, you can always do more, you can always become a better person in different areas. You might have to change your focus, you know, you might reach different levels, and you know, you might become a lot more knowledgeable as time goes on in specific areas, but you'll never be like 100% complete. You'll never be perfect. And I think that's one of the coolest things about Lost Genius Society. You'll never be fully complete. It's just an ongoing development that's gonna keep growing and keep building and keep growing. And this is not even talking about like financially, just like the whole idea, the whole movement. Because like I said in my other video, we're building a society. Matter of fact, we're building a society within a society, right? But ultimately, we want the whole world to be a part of the society, if that makes sense. It's not like we're trying to exclude people or like try to make people like feel like they can't be included into Lost Genius Society, but it's more so that we have to start with those people that really understand and really kind of get the core values and the core principles of everything that Lost Genius Society is trying to push on a level that's deeper than just wearing our clothes. But I feel like the individuals that do choose to wear our clothes, it brings a different type of confidence, or at least I hope it does, that they can kind of realize that they have that potential to do those great things, you know what I mean? Or they have the potential to reach their greatness. And even during that process, I feel like there's gonna become like a click where they kind of learn and understand that there is no end. It's kind of the scary part. But it's also kind of cool because you always got something to wake up and look forward to, you know? Try to become that better version of yourself. But my bad, class, I left y'all. So this is the aftermath. I know y'all got another period to get to, but yeah, I hope that makes sense.